witches, how you doing today? We are back with another video, and today I wanted to share with you another sort of book stash that I've acquired. I've been out doing some shopping lately, and I've picked up quite a few books, and I wanted to share them with you. This huge stack right here. They are all witchy books, some in all different ways to all different things. Oh my goodness, this is quite the eclectic combination of books. There's some fiction, there's some nonfiction. Yeah, it's just full of goodness. And I really want to talk to you guys about this book here, The Big Mama of Them All, which was actually written by a friend of mine. And so we're going to share that one very first. So make sure you stick around. But before we get into it, for those of you who are new around here, my name is Taya. Welcome to the channel where we talk about all things witchcraft. And for those of you who are returning viewers, maybe coming in from another video, welcome back. Thank you so much for the support. It is really appreciated. And all of you, please consider subscribing. It's a great way to help us build the channel. All right, so book haul, book stash, book I don't know what. It's not a review. I haven't read all of these books, but they are all on my radar to be read. But I want to start with one that I probably actually am not going to read because I've already read it, is this beautiful book. Look at this hardcover, beautiful book. It is called Witchcraft for Beginners, a practical 2-in-1 book of shadows and grimoire for the new witch by J.C. Marco. Now, I know J.C. Marco in real life, and I actually helped edit a little bit of the content of this amazing book. It is very basic. It's gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. It covers 42 different topics, from the truth about magic, or is it magic with a C or magic with a K? What is the Book of Shadows? Down to types of witches, Wiccan rules and laws, the 13 goals of a witch, a pentagram versus a pentacle, tools of the craft, the altar, casting a circle, consecrating, cleansing, centering and grounding, clearing and charging, banishing, shielding and warding, sigils, witchcraft symbols, alphabets and writing, animals and familiars, the elements, candle magic, herb magic, crystal magic, number magic, numerology, magic for the days and hours, wheel of the year, the sabbats, esbats, moon magic, deities and spirit guides, divination methods, creating your own spells, and then a list of sources. This is packed full of information. Now, I'm going to be blunt though. This is for new witches. If you've been doing witchcraft for a couple of years, you probably don't need this book. It's information. It is just a compendium of information that most of us, pardon me, but we dick around on the internet watching videos, right? Reading blogs, reading, forums, and we sort of cobble together all this information. And J.C. Marco sat down and said, what a pain in the drain for new witches. Why don't we put it all in one book? So this is, it's absolutely gorgeous, and there is room for you to actually write in it. So this is a bit about different types of witches. And then over here, there's spaces where you can, if you discover another type of witch that you're interested of, you can write it in. There's pages for you to write it in. Let me just see if I find another one. There is the 13 goals of a witch. And then there is space for you to actually write in your own notes, your own information. So it's absolutely beautifully put together. Where is the book plate? At the beginning, there is actually a book plate. There's a Book of Shadows blessing. There's a place for you to write in your own blessing. But I know at the beginning there was a page that said this book belongs to, which I thought was really cool. So you could write in your name and really make it your own. Oh, right there, right opposite the table of contents, right? This Book of Shadows belongs to, and there's a place to write in your name. And guys, full of information. I think this is such a phenomenal book. If you are brand new and you are sort of struggling to parse out all of the details. Now, one thing I will tell you, because we are technically a traditional witchcraft channel, It's a little Wiccan bent. Not a bad thing. The information still stands. So if you're really like, I'm daunted by the thought of starting my own book of shadows. I want all this information. I sort of want it compiled and correlated and put together for me. This is the book for you. Let's see. I don't even know if you'll be able to read that, but right along the spine in teeny tiny letters, it says, Witchcraft for Beginners, a practical 2-in-1 book of shadows and grimoire for the new witch by J.C. Marco. It is available on Amazon. I will put a link down in the description box. So if you're interested in picking it up, you can. Guys, it's hefty. It's hardcover. It's absolutely gorgeous. One thing I will tell you, it does not have page numbers. So similar to a self-created book of shadows, right? You need to work with it and learn where the information is and get a good feel for it. I mean, if anything, you could go through and put little tabs in for yourself where the different bits of information are. But I almost like that idea. It's a little bit more like I did it myself and I need to learn, right? You could put beautiful ribbon bookmarks in it. You could do all kinds of fun things to really help keep your place in the book because it does not have page numbers. But otherwise, what a gorgeous, and I mean, I love it. It's just this beautiful cover. I can't say enough about it. It's beautiful, beautiful work. Thank you, J.C. Marco, for putting this together. I think it's going to be a really big help. The other thing is that J.C. Marco does have a Facebook group to help new witches, and you are welcome to go and join that group. I will also link it down in the description below. It is, I think it's called the Eclectic Witch Inner Circle. And there's lots of great information in there, lots of fun things. And I know that he is going to start doing some workshops coming up. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff as a new witch, like it's all geared towards helping new witches get started in their craft, which I think is really awesome. And it's come out from a very just eclectic, non-denominational, a little bit of a Wiccan bent, but not a bad thing. He's got really good, solid information. So definitely check this one out. Link in the description below. All right. So I had to do my 2 cents for that book because I love it. It's gorgeous. It will look beautiful even just sitting on my shelf. I might not reference it myself, right? I've kind of, I've been doing this for 25, 26, 27 years, but it's a gorgeous book and I'm honored to have a copy. So thank you, J.C. Marco, for doing that. Now, on to some more witchy books. What do we have? All kinds of goodies. Let me look and see here. So we're going to start with, hefty tomes falling on the floor. All right, let's start with The Witch's Guide to the Paranormal, How to Investigate, Communicate, and Clear Spirits by J. Allen Cross. I listened to J. Allen Cross and Britain have the I think it's called Invoking Witchcraft is their podcast, and I heard them talk about this book, and I went, I need a copy. So it is The Witch's Guide to the Paranormal, but a lot of it is about, witchcraft basics, cleansing and clearing, mediumship basics, paranormal investigation basics, understanding a haunting, the residual haunting, earthbound human spirits, the poltergeist phenomenon, inhuman spirits, negative entities, your magical toolkit, portals, doorways, and highways, working with clients, and before you go. I thought this was a really handy, I think it will be a really handy book to have on hand, given, my experience with witchcraft. I would like to know a little bit more about sort of these spirit phenomenons. My friend, Jasmine Ambrosia, is always posting about these sort of spirit workings that she does, and she goes to haunted places and takes her coven with her and goes to like haunted places, and it just freaks me out, and I'm like, I need to learn more about it. So I thought this was a good book to get started, The Witch's Guide to the Paranormal. So this is one I would really like to do a book review on once I get through it. Now, these next 2 books are not going to be for everyone, okay? Some of you are going to be like, what the hell is she doing? And it's okay. Stay with me. We got some really cool, we got another traditional witchcraft book coming up right after these 2, but I got to pop them in. Okay, you all know I'm baptized Roman Catholic. I grew up Roman Catholic, and reintegrating a bit of Catholicism into my practice is something that I've always not always, but recently have started talking about. Something that I'm very interested in. And way back, you might remember this book. This is actually not a new book. I got this one here, Precious Apothecary, a Catholic Grimoire by Jose Latau. I don't know how to say that, sorry. I got this book actually back right when my channel was starting, so a couple of years ago, and I kind of flipped through it, but I didn't do a lot of detailed reading. But it is, I mean, it's literally got the Catholic Mass written out for you, as well as, you know, information on saints, working with saints. It's got, you know, here's the Stations of the Cross, like just Christian doctrine. It goes through a lot of Catholic information, Christian doctrine, prayers for the day, devotions to Our Lady, devotions to our Lord Jesus Christ, remedies for the souls in purgatory. That's fascinating. Ways of visiting the Stations of the Cross, spiritual remedies, general prescription of the vocations of the saints, instructions for the sick and dying, practices for Mass, holy offices, various blessings, and various prayers. So again, it's very of interest to me. But I'll be honest, this is not an easy read. It is very, it was written, I should have done this before, but it was actually written like back in the old-timey days. So some of it is written like in Latin. So again, it's a really cool resource, and I wanted to mention it again because it goes well with the next book. Again, stay with me here, folks. It is The Magic of Catholicism. I mean, hello, look at that cover. You gotta love it. Real Magic for Devout Catholics. This book is a treasure trove. I haven't like sat down and read it all, but again, if you're looking to incorporate, a little bit of Catholicism, I mean, hello, Catholicism, basically what this author says at the beginning of the book, and I love this, is that there is a lot of magic and mystery to the Catholic Church, but they don't teach it to lay people, right? That's for like the priests. And that if they did, and he actually shows receipts on why it is totally legit that commonplace Catholics can practice these methods, that there technically isn't any reason why they can't be creating holy waters and blessing things. But what he talks about is how if Catholicism was a little bit more open with their magic and their mysticism with the lay people, there wouldn't be so many people leaving Catholicism to go towards paganism and witchcraft in specific. He posits that the number one pipeline feeding the pagan religions and witchcraft is Catholicism, because people get into it, right? They love it, they come up, but there's like so much mystery and magic that the church isn't giving them access to, and they want that deeper connection. They don't want to just go through the motions. They want to know why they're going through the motions. They want to know, right, all that deep down mysticism is missing. And so they leave and they go to paganism and witchcraft, which is, hello, I think a very astute observation. So anyways, I haven't read the whole book, but it's really interesting. It has got information like magic is defined in Catholicism, and it gives some history. Catholicism is an initiatory magical system, and he talks about the sacraments as magical operations, so like baptism, first communion, confirmation, all of which I've done. The sacramentals, so blessings and exorcisms. The sacramentals performed by the laity, right? Laity, the common people. Prayers, devotions, and gestures. Getting started, right? Making holy water, blessing one's implements, the use of candles, angels and saints, and then tying it all together. He even has a bit about the pentagram and how it has actually been used. There's a number of churches, especially like older churches in Europe, that have pentagrams on them. So he talks about the pentagram in its relation to Catholicism. alternate signs of the cross, techniques of meditation, the lesser ritual of the pentagram. Yeah, it's fascinating. So yeah, if you're like me and you're kind of like, I wonder how Catholicism can tie into witchcraft, The Magic of Catholicism, Real Magic for Devout Catholics by Brother ADA. I just got it off of Amazon. It popped up in my, you might be interested in this, and hells yeah, I just might be. All right, the next one is very specifically traditional witchcraft, my friends. It is a Grimoire for Modern Cunning Folk by Peter Padden. I have not yet read any of this, but it looks fascinating. So, let's see what's in here. So much. Oh my gosh, this is it's a small book, but it is packed full of information. The cunning art, gods and archetypes on the crooked path, notable points on the path of the king, which is actually, he goes through the Sabbats, seeking the guardians of lore, so he talks about the directions and the gates, and then the cross quarters, the northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. The cycle of Ked and Kali, C-E-D and C-E-L-I. Sorry, I have not got that far down the rabbit hole that I know how to say those yet. Root and crown, the bile tree turned upside down, walking the crooked path. So that's got stuff like sacred space, laying the compass, treading the mill, the cone, libation, riding the dragon. The path of the outcast, herb lore, the tools, so staying cauldron, hearthstone, skull, horn cup, cane, cord, giving of gifts, encountering the crooked path, and in place of hierarchy, the dedicant, the apprentice or squire, the master crafter, the magister and the mistress, the guardian, and leaving. So I'm assuming that's sort of like the positions that you can find in traditional witchcraft, which are typically in covens, but maybe he's relating it more to, I'm not sure, solitaries or covens, I'm not sure. So I am not endorsing this book. I have not read it. I have not even looked at reviews for it, but it struck me as really interesting. Peter Padden is he's got quite a few books out there. He publishes through Pendrag Publishing, who have also published Robin Artisan. So I am hoping that that's giving this a little bit of credence. So we will see. Again, once I read this one, I would love to do a book review on it. A Grimoire for Modern Cunning Folk by Peter Padden. If you've read it, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about it. Now, the next two books are super fun. The next three, all the books we have left are all fiction. But I just got these at Costco. I haven't even peeled the stickers off them yet. And it is, what comes first? The X-Hex by Aaron Sterling and The Kiss Curse by Aaron Sterling. They were like $13.99 at Costco, and I was like, oh, witchy books. And I am a sucker for witchy fiction. I actually just finished reading the trilogy, A Discovery of Witches trilogy. If you're interested in a review on that, I don't know if you guys are interested in a review on fiction. If you are, leave me a comment. I would love to do a book review on the trilogy of A Discovery of Witches. And what I'm doing is, not only am I trying to build my witchcraft library, like my resource books, my nonfiction how-to type books, but I also am starting to build a bit of a fiction witchcraft library. And I think it's so interesting to read fictional books, and really with the lens of, okay, I'm a real witch, so how does this stand up? And sometimes it's just crap, and sometimes they kind of hold up. Now, typically there's a little bit of fantastic, showmanship put on that isn't very realistic, but sometimes the underlying ideas are pretty witchy. So yeah, if you're interested in fiction reviews, let me know, because I could be doing a few of those. But yeah, this is the X-Hex and The Kiss Curse by Aaron Sterling. And then my final book, and this is such a gorgeous book. I'm really excited about it. It is Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. And isn't this gorgeous? It's hardcover. I got it at Costco. It was $20. Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales, the Brothers Grimm. How gorgeous. The retail sticker on the back says $33.99 Canadian. I got it for $19.99. And it is translation by Margaret Hunt from Canterbury Classics. And it has literally got their body of work. It has got 201 stories and 10 legends. So I thought it would be really interesting. I have never had, I was leaning on the books earlier, but the pile has gotten small. I've never really gotten into Grimm's fairy tales. I mean, I know the fairy tales like from when I was a kid fairy tales, but I've never really looked at sort of the original Grimm's fairy tales. And I think having a folkloric practice, I think there might be some interesting stuff in here. I've listened to like a fascinating podcast that broke down Little Red Riding Hood and went through all of the folklore, and it was fascinating. So I would love to read some like authentic fairy tales and really see how they stand up to witchiness. So again, if you're interested in that kind of thing, let me know. Maybe we could read some fairy tales together here on the channel and do a little bit of witchy discourse around sort of that folklore and what we can pull from it. So yeah, that is all of the books I've just gotten in the last few weeks. I've been a little spendy and just, yeah, wanted to go out and get some new books and sort of refresh my bookshelf and get some more stuff onto my to be read list. And yeah, if I read it and I think it's worth it, I will definitely do some book reviews. To be fair, unless a book is smashingly awful, if I'm just like, meh, I tend not to do a review on it. But if I find something that is really useful or really helpful, yeah, I will definitely do some book reviews. So yeah, keep an eye out for those coming up. And otherwise, yeah, that's our video for today. What are you reading right now? Leave us a comment. I'd love to know what's on your currently to be read list. Share with us, all right? And otherwise, yeah, that's our video for today. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks so much, you guys.